Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Lee, alongside, as always, with Jeremy Sadowski, and we're here to bring you exciting high school football action. 2017 Mustang Football is brought to you by the Manhattan Beach Athletic Foundation. Live from South Hills High School in West Covina, California, it's Mustang Football 2017. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Lee, alongside, as always, with Jeremy Sadowski, and we're here to bring you exciting high school football action as your Maricosta Mustangs take on South Hills. This is an intriguing matchup here for the Mustangs. Not a typical Mustang opponent for sure here. The South Hills Huskies over in West Covina, but a very good matchup for the Mustangs to really try to gauge where they're at here as next week begins the Bay League schedule. So final tune-up for the Mustangs. Of course, Mustangs come into this contest with a 1-3 record, fresh off a victory, 35-6 victory over West Torrance, while South Hills is coming in complete opposite of the Mustangs. They are, instead of 1-3, they are 3-1, coming in off their first loss of the season to Charter Oaks last week, 37-14. So can't get about any more of a polar opposite season here for both teams. 1-3 Mustangs coming in off a win versus the 3-1 Huskies coming in off a loss. Almost identical scores on the loss as well. Talk to me a little bit about the playing style of the South Hills Huskies. Can we expect to see that Mustangs I formation, or are they opposites there too?
Will be a very heavy run-orientated offense. You'll see a lot of quarterback keepers, and they also have a real good running back too that you'll see in different formations. So this is definitely a ground attack that the Mustangs will be going up against. And like you mentioned before, the Mustangs are coming off that victory off of fellow Division 6 West Torrance. And I know we've mentioned this in the past, how Coach Morrow loves to schedule these tough non-league schedule. And, you know, we had the St. Francis Division 3, Lucerna Division 3. El Segundo is a Division 7, a very highly ranked Division 7 team. And then you have tonight's opponent is also a highly ranked Division 7 opponent. So this pre-league has definitely been one of the tougher ones for the Mustangs in recent years.
Yeah, of course, you mentioned the Mustangs' tough schedule, not only in terms of opponents, but in terms of location as well. Mustangs opened this season with 3 consecutive road games against St. Francis, Lucerna, and then, as you mentioned, El Segundo. Last week's victory against West Torrance was the home opener for the Mustangs there in week 4. And of course, now the Mustangs on the road again tonight. So, 3 of the first 4, games here. 4 of the first 5 games here for the Mustangs on the road. Certainly a big challenge as this game is underway here. Mustangs, of course, in their road white and now gold lettering, and South Hills in their home dark colors. So let's see how the Mustangs respond here. Verbre opens this with a attempted pass incomplete. It's going to bring up a second down and 10 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Chris. These two teams are definitely going to fill each other out here as the Mustangs have not played South Hills in the Morrow era. I'm not sure if before Morrow, but as you know, this is Coach Morrow's 25th season. So if they did play it, it was before our era too.
Yeah, and tough to imagine, certainly playing teams out of your general area, certainly unique to the last 10, 15 years. Hard to imagine any of the coaches, whether that's Coach Petrol or any coach prior to that, really venturing outside of the general, South Bay region. So definitely a very intriguing matchup for sure. In the meantime, Mustangs will be forced to punt here on fourth down.
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned how tough it is to get these local matchups, and one reason you can see that the Bay League is made up of a Division 10 Peninsula, Division 9 Morningside, Division 10 Inglewood, Division 3 Palos Verdes, Division 4 Redondo, and Division 6 Maricosta. So only two teams are in the same division in the whole Bay League.
Meantime, South Hills, the South Hills Huskies here so far with a couple of runs. That second one looks like that is going to put them in a third and short situation here. As we see Mustangs player Bobby Malaya needing assistance as he gingerly walks off the field here. Hope he's okay.
Just to get back to that new playoff format, the Mustangs are playing 7 teams in different divisions out of their 10 games this season.
Meantime, South Hills again sticks to the ground attack. Big run here by Torres, who's finally knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Torres is an excellent back for the West Covina the South Hills Huskies here in West Covina.
Torres not very tall in structure, only 5'9", but he is pretty solid for sure. Tough runner, so he'll definitely bring a challenge to this Mustangs defense. Of course, they also utilize Amendarez as well. So
let's see what this call is. I believe it is holding against South Hills, Chris.
So that will march the South Hills Huskies back. And that is indeed the call, holding. So Mustangs hope to take advantage of this early miscue here by the Huskies. Meantime, quarterback Stearns in shotgun. He's looking middle. He throws. It's tipped in, incomplete.
Yeah, Chris, Stearns is a very athletic quarterback, and the Mustangs, as you know, in the first couple games went against some really athletic quarterbacks, and that they really struggled in containment.
Stearns, meantime, risky pitch. Let's see, it looks like, are they going to call this one an incomplete pass?
I believe they are. Yeah, I believe they're going to call that an incomplete pass, that little forward pitch. I see the Mustangs have been working on a similar play in practices.
So meantime, South Hills on the 36-yard field goal attempt. It's up, it's high, it's straight, and it is good. So South Hills scores on their first offensive possession. They lead 3-0 here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Chris, that's a new wrinkle that we've been seeing a little bit more of this year and last year in high school football is the tendency to do a forward pitch, which of course counts as a forward pass. So if the running back fumbles it, if there's a bad exchange, that is just an incomplete pass, but it is kind of deceptive for the defense.
It reminds me a little bit of the kind of a variation of the shuffle, pass, which was very popular, certainly in the 90s. Mustangs get 2 yards on first down, so it's 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it's definitely the evolution of the shuffle pass.
Bray hands off to Hill. Hill turns the corner and gets out to about the 25-yard line. Good carry there will bring up a 3rd and short, 3rd and about 4 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, what's good about that play is you'll see a lot of misdirection. And again, if it's fumbled, it's just an incomplete pass.
Meantime, Bray under pressure, hit as soon as he turned, incomplete. So the Mustangs will be in a 4th down punting situation here.
Oh, by the way, the Mustangs are dealing with some injuries, key injuries. You got Cole Trejo still out with a high ankle sprain and a slight fracture in his ankle. And Malachi McMahon is down this week with a turf toe. So hopefully they'll be back for Bay League action.
Of course, McMahon, a big part of that Mustangs backfield, very deep backfield, luckily for the Mustangs. Vashon Hill, the starter, and of course, Mustangs still have Everson Franklove as well as Jonah Tobias. So they still have plenty of weapons there to rotate in that backfield. But Malachi McMahon certainly bursting out in the scene here this season thus far for the Mustangs. Really proven himself to be one of the more talented running backs in the South Bay. Meantime, the Huskies on the draw play get maybe a yard, if that. Mustangs here forcing another 3rd down situation here, 3rd and about 3. Stearns hands off. And, this time the Mustangs are right there. Now, if that looked like that was Frank Luff who stepped up with a big hit on running back Torres.
Yeah, Frank Love is not the biggest of players, but he will lay a big hit on a running back.
So 4th and 2, and South Hills going for it here deep in their own territory, but the risk pays off as, Torres, pop goes the weasel. Somehow he escapes that pile and gets a huge 1st down. South Hills definitely, maybe they're just not concerned with this being a non-league matchup. A risky play here in the first quarter, going for it on 4th down in your own territory, but that risk paid off. 1st and 10 now. Stearns on the roll right, under pressure, escapes it, and is able to use his athletic ability to get positive yardage on what could have easily been a sack. 2nd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, Mustang defense is going to have to contain Stearns, or it can be a long night.
And instead, it's a handoff this time to look like that was number 34 for South Hills, Knowles, the senior with the big carry. And it's Knowles again, and this time he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, South Hills.
Yeah, both of the South Hills running backs are real low, stocky. They got that low center of gravity, which makes them tough to tackle. Kind of like Jonah Tavai, but not as big.
Meantime, that point after attempt is up high, straight, and good. That makes the score of this contest 10-0. South Hills Huskies with an early lead. Glove on the return is able to turn the corner. Again, another nice return. Second nice return by Franklin already in this contest. Gives the Mustangs good field position.
All the way to where the Mustangs will start their third drive of the evening.
Reed Verbrae, quarterback for the Mustangs, under center, I formation, and it is a run right up the middle. Of course, Jeremy, you and I have talked often this season so far about the Mustangs offense shifting from a spread offense to more of a traditional I formation. It'll be interesting to see here as we see exactly what I was about to bring up. Quarterback Reed Verbrae keeping this one. We saw a lot of that last week. A lot of QB keepers there by Reed Verbrae, who is a very powerful runner. Worked well for the Mustangs last week, so let's see if that's a new wrinkle in this I formation for the Mustangs this week, as Verbrae gets another good, powerful QB keeper run here, bringing up a 4th and short situation.
Yeah, you mentioned Reed Verbrae is really comfortable running the ball. He's almost like a fullback in size, and he is a tough one to get down.
Again there, another big push forward. QB keeper Verbrae gets that first down. Boy, both coaches taking big 4th down risk here already in this first quarter.
Yeah, that's one benefit of the last non-league game. You just put everything out on the line.
Meantime, a nice run here by Vashon Hill off left tackle. Second down here for the Mustangs, offset by double receivers to the left of Verbrae. Instead, the Mustangs counter right. It's Hill again, but this time only gets a couple, and that is how this first quarter ends. The Mustangs trail 10-0.
The 9th annual Skechers Peer-to-Peer Friendship Walk is on Sunday, October 29th at the Manhattan Beach Pier. The annual event brings together all walks of life for one common purpose: to support children with special needs in public education. Charity Walk includes performances, celebrities, vendor exhibits, a kids' fun zone, appearances by Nickelodeon characters, Los Angeles sports teams, and lots more. Register or donate today by logging on to SkechersFriendshipWalk.com. Pre-registration is $30 and $35 on the day of the event. Thank you for going the extra mile for children with special needs and education.
And welcome back as we are set for second quarter action here as your Mustangs currently trail 10-0 to the South Hills Huskies. Huskies 2 offensive possessions thus far, and they have scored on both. So Mustang defense definitely has their work cut out for them.
Yeah, Chris, I'd like to remind the fans that you can catch all the Mustang action, home and away, on the Maricosta YouTube channel. And again, that's the Maricosta Football YouTube channel. And you can catch us on Facebook, keywords Maricosta High School Football Players. And we are going to we are going to be giving away a scholarship starting this year, and it'll be given away annually to a Mustang senior, and that is, of course, the Jason Sadowski Scholarship, which will be given away to honor the passing of my father a couple of years ago. So I just, if you would like to donate, feel free to log on to mbxfoundation.org for further information.
We have a timeout on the field here as we are facing a 4th down and 4 for the Mustangs. Again, the Mustangs go for it in their territory. And Mustangs go to the ground game, and unable to turn that corner was Vashon Hill. So this will be a turnover on downs by the Mustangs. The Huskies on the handoff. Torres with a nice couple of nice cuts, but the Mustangs read them well. They are able to stop him after only a few yard gain there. Jonah Tavai involved in that one. It's a 2nd and 9 coming up. Shotgun for Stearns. Mustangs showing blitz. They bring it. They bring that outside pressure. They are in Stearns' face. However, he is able to roll away and throw a deep ball. Is that caught? That was caught there right at about the 8-yard line. Oh my goodness, what a run and throw by Stearns, and a great catch by his receiver right on the sideline.
Yeah, you called it literally right on the sideline, less than a foot in, as he gets a foot in and gets the completion. Great play on both sides of that South Hills offense.
Meantime, Peck comes up, joining a couple of teammates in the backfield there, gets a big hit. So a loss on the play for the Huskies. Mustangs needed that one as a timeout on the field with 10:09 left to go here in the second quarter. And South Hills leading 10-0. Quarterback Stearns in shotgun. Fakes, throws on the run, and that is incomplete. So 3rd down coming up. Stearns looks left. He's under pressure. He steps up. He is so electrically fast. He is able to step forward, gets brought down at the 5-yard line. A flag is down, though. Let's see what the call is. But, boy, he can go from straight drop back to running forward in such a quick transition. He's definitely a challenge for this Mustangs D. And this penalty is against the Mustangs D. So that will give South Hills another shot here on 3rd down.
Yeah, Chris, that was a horse collar tackle by the Mustangs. They were just... the defender was lucky to get any part of Stearns as he was going.
So now Stearns in shotgun. Ball placed at the 3-yard line. Stearns runs right, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. It was a form of I guess you would call that a naked bootleg. Typically, naked bootleg is a little bit more of a rounded angle by the quarterback, but it's kind of a misdirection play. All the offense went left, but as soon as Stearns got that snap, he quickly went right and got into the end zone. This score now is quickly turned to the Huskies' favor. So let's see if the Mustangs offense can respond. Again, though, another good return by Frank Love will certainly help. Play action. The pass is up and incomplete. 2 receivers in a very similar field locations area. So Reed Verbrey overthrows both intended targets, 2nd down and 10. Verbrey looks right, throws, and that is complete. That looks like That is the Mustangs' number 4, Jeremy Jackson, with the reception. Jeremy Jackson lining up in the slot on that play. So 3rd and 3. Mustangs run it right up the middle. And pop goes the Weasel. Reed for a Bray on the QB keeper. Gets the Mustangs first down. Ends up all the way down on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the South Hills Huskies got lucky. Bray lost his balance as he popped out of there because he would have been gone.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Meantime, Bray, just barely misses on that one. In and out of the hands of his intended target. 2nd and 10 coming up, but we've talked about Reed Bray, very elusive as a runner. He's a kind of a husky kid, I guess, if you will, kind of stocky in a sense. So you look at him and you don't necessarily think he's going to be that skilled of a runner, but don't let the size fool you. He's got a lot of talent as a running back once he gets out of that backfield. Meantime, Bray throws in, it's incomplete. That one was intended for Coda Thermosgard, the junior who's been having himself a heck of a defensive season. At that time in at receiver for the Mustangs, so it's 4th down after the incompletion. Mustangs will go for it. Ball spotted at the 38-yard line. And Bray immediately with someone in his face, and almost coming up with the one-handed catch is Tavai, but even if he had, he still would have been well short of the first down marker, so that will be another turnover on downs. Twice now the Mustangs have turned the ball over on downs to the Huskies. Huskies again with that little end-around toss play. Mustangs, though, read it pretty well. Frank Love again with another big hit out there.
And the penalty will be on South Hills, and that will bring them back a long first down attempt here, all the way back to about their 21-yard line.
So quarterback Stearns in shotgun. Takes a snap. Instead, it's a draw play to Knowles. But Mustangs do a good job there, not really falling for the play. Knowles does get out to the right about the 30-yard line, but it's still 2nd and long Huskies. And that is complete. Big play again coming up here. Stearns with the nice throw, and turning the corner and getting into the end zone is the South Hills Huskies.
Wow.
Flag, though, on the play.
Wow, what a play there, Chris. The ball was tipped by one South Hills Husky, and the other one came up with it clean and then took off across the field and down the left sideline. However, it does look like there was an illegal block down the field, so the Huskies should still get a long gain and a first down out of this, but they will not get the touchdown.
So as you mentioned, that long gain is enough for a first down, but as you said, luckily does keep them out of the end zone. Stearns, meantime, on that first down play, hands off right up the middle. Nice job by Knowles, still going, finally brought down there, but good job of using his blockers. Really made that challenging for the Mustangs just to reach him there. Meantime, it's 2nd and a short 2. Stearns steps up, plants, throws, and incomplete. Kellenbach almost had a chance at interception there, but good defensive presence by Kellenbach. 3rd down now on 2. Draw play to Knowles. He is eventually tackled. Not a huge gain, but That may be enough for a Husky first down. Indeed, it is. First and 10, the South Hills. Draw play again. It's a very deliberate draw. They certainly don't sell it very well, but the blocking has been effective, so Knowles has been able to get some gain, but even that one only 2 yards. Second and 8 coming up. Good job by the Mustangs D. Meantime, Stearns plants, throws, incomplete. Flag comes in. Oh, I don't agree with that one at all. That looked like just good downfield coverage by the Mustangs. But a flag comes in, and it looks like it is going to be pass interference against the Mustangs. I don't agree with that one at all.
I agree with you. It appeared to be excellent coverage by Jackson Fisher, stride for stride with the South Hills receiver, but the officials saw it differently.
So meantime, QB keeper there, the read option, and Stearns decides to keep it himself. Gets a couple of yards, but big hit there by Jonah Tavai.
Now let's take another look at this defensive play by Jonah Tavai. As again, you see the quarterback option, and Tavai just wraps him up.
Stearns calling his own number. Picks up 2 yards in the play, second down and
that point, but again, that athletic ability by Stearns has definitely been a key component of this South Hills attack.
So good form tackle by Tavai. Meantime, that is thrown into the end zone, and that is intercepted. Jackson Fisher comes up with another big play. Turnover for the Mustangs D.
Yeah, Chris, Jackson was a little upset on that pass interference call, and as he gets the interception right here, he starts looking towards the officials to make sure that they didn't throw another flag. But that was totally a clean play, and the Mustangs get a key turnover here in the second quarter.
And a great read by Fisher as his receiver was actually cutting further outside, but Fisher read the play very well, almost like a safety there, stepping up and making that big play for the Mustangs defense when, boy, did they need one. Meantime, Fabre throws that one away. In fact, the only open receiver was defensive coach Ray Lee. Of course, Jeremy, as you remember, when you and I were coaching together and I was coaching quarterbacks, I'd always say find the prettiest girl on the stands there and throw the ball to her when you want to throw it away. I guess in that case, Coach Ray Lee was that option.
Yep, better safe than sorry, right, Chris?
Absolutely. Meantime, first down for the Mustangs. Reed Rabre.
Bob Raylock can create a second down and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
Nice completion there over the middle by Verbrae to Kellenbach as the Mustangs are starting to drive here late in the second quarter.
Verbrae starting to find his momentum. Offset eye. Verbrae again looking deep. He's got Kellenbach again, and oh, what a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch by Cody Kellenbach. Gets the Mustangs all the way down to the 5-yard line. First and goal.
Yeah, Chris, let's take another look at this. Verbrae gets all the time in the world as he drops back and then delivers the ball, a perfectly thrown ball between double coverage, and Kellenbach catches it on the run, gets it down to the 5, and now the Mustangs have a chance to gain some momentum after getting that interception, and hopefully the Mustangs can get it into the end zone and make this a game here in the second half.
That was maybe one of the better throws I've seen from Reed Verbrey all season long out of that I formation.
Yeah, again, we see the running of Reed Verbrey as he ran off left side, short of the end zone, and we have a timeout here on the field. So the Mustangs here, with 1 minute and 2 seconds, need to get points on the board.
So man in motion. Verbrey on the QB keeper, pushes, drives, and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs. Reed Verbrey on the QB keeper.
Great job by Verbrey to keep his legs going as he initially gets stopped short of the end zone, but then pushes forward just like he did on that one play. And that extra point attempt is no good. So the Mustangs do get some points on the board, get some momentum, and that should take them into halftime and hopefully can come out in the second half and, like I said, make this an exciting game.
Yeah, of course, we talk about Mr. Momentum all the time. That's how a game can go from 17-0 and seem like you're out of it to all of a sudden, one, touchdown, you get the ball back, you get a second score, and now you're right back into this game. Stearns throws, and that is incomplete. Good coverage by Fisher again. Second down and 10 for the South Hills Huskies. Stearns throws and incomplete, almost intercepted.
Again, fans, I wanted to thank our sponsors, Manhattan Beach Athletic Foundation and Skechers, for their support of Mustang football through the years. And to stay tuned, at the half we'll have a little, some more information on the Skechers Friendship Walk, the annual event down at the Manhattan Beach Pier coming up.
Jules ended up bursting out of that pile there, but the officials had blown the play dead, so it's third down and long coming up here for the Huskies. And boy, I've said it before, but that's got to be one of the most deliberate draw plays I think I've ever seen ran.
Yeah, I mean, it seems intentional. I've never seen a slower developing draw play. It's like they want their block. I mean, they're so confident in their offensive line that they're waiting for those blocks to develop.
So far, the Mustangs have done a good job against that play. So, meantime, it's now punting situation here for South Hills. They get a good punt out of it. Takes a little bit of a Husky roll. So it is down at the 25 with 11 seconds left to go here. Mustangs trailing 6-17. They come back on the field on offense.
And Verbrey will take the knee, and we'll go into halftime with the Mustangs trailing the South Hills Huskies 17-6.
Fans, stay tuned for a special halftime presentation. Then we'll be right back for second half action.
The 9th annual Skechers Peer-to-Peer Friendship Walk is on Sunday, October 29th at the Manhattan Beach Pier. The annual event brings together all walks of life for one common purpose: to support children with special needs and public education. The charity walk includes performances, celebrities, vendor exhibits, a kids' fun zone, appearances by Nickelodeon characters, Los Angeles sports teams, and lots more. Register or donate today by logging on to SKECHERSFriendshipWalk.com. Pre-registration is $30 and $35 on the day of the event. Thank you for going the extra mile for children with special needs and education.
And welcome back, fans, as we are getting set to start the second half here. The Maricosta Mustangs trail the South Hills Huskies by a score of 6-17. Of course, the Mustangs did get in that end zone, finally got on the scoreboard late there in the second quarter. Reed Verbrey hit Cody Kelleback on a beautiful pass play downfield, and then 2 plays later, Verbrey called his own number on the QB keeper to get into the end zone. One of the things, Jeremy, you and I have been talking a lot about the last 2 weeks is the running ability of Reed Verbrey, and how nice it is to see him finally start to find his opportunities within this I formation offense to use that running ability for the benefit of the Mustangs offense. Every time the Huskies, on a big return here, they twist, turn, spin, and get to just about midfield. We'll call it the 47-yard line. So the Huskies take over, leading 17-6.
Yeah, let's see what kind of defensive adjustments Coach Ray Lee has made here as the Mustangs get a good stop of Torres here on first down by Ryan Ohanesian, the senior defensive lineman.
So on second down and 7, the Huskies go with the handoff to Torres. Tries to turn upfield, but nice play out there by the Mustangs. Kelleback and Tavai. Third down coming up.
There's a big third down right here at the start of the third quarter, Chris.
Third down and 5 for the Huskies. It is Stearns still scrambling and finally brought down. Mustangs had him stopped dead in his tracks. He had nowhere to go, so it's a sack for the Mustangs defense.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that play ever since the Huskies started with that little pitch play. Was the fake pitch, little forward pitch, and then Stearns tried to take it to the left, but the Mustangs' containment was right there and hauled him in for a big loss.
So, of course, good opportunity here now for the Mustangs. 1 touchdown, and this can all of a sudden become a 17-13 game. So let's see if the Mustangs can get that TD they're looking for here. They start off on the ground. Mustangs get... Well, they got just a hair past the line of scrimmage, but it is coming back as there is a penalty on the play. It's holding against the Mustangs.
Yeah, that could be a momentum killer, Chris.
That marks the Mustangs all the way back to the 8-yard line. Meantime, Verbrey just barely overshoots Kelleback. Again, mentioned Verbrey had a couple of nice connections to Kelleback on that touchdown drive, but missed on that one. Meantime, that one is complete. Looks like that may have been Conrad with the reception.
Yeah, the more I look at it, Chris, Verbrey seems to be more comfortable passing from that spread attack. I think it gives him a lot more time to read the defense, being in shotgun as opposed under center.
Yes, that's a big possibility. Of course, being under center, it's a lot more about timing. 3-step drops, 5-step drops. It's a lot more quick slants. It's more timing patterns than anything else, to where with that spread offense, like you mentioned, that one is over the head of Tavai, and he is tackled in the end zone. That is a safety for the Huskies.
Yeah, again, like I was saying, that momentum killer of a penalty to start off this drive, and then to add to it with the bad snap and the safety have just hopefully won't take the steam out of this Mustang defense, who came up big in the Huskies' first drive of this second half.
Exactly. Meantime, on the more of a traditional option play, Stearns keeps it. He's still going, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. Oh, boy, what you talk about momentum. Momentum clearly jumped off the Mustangs bandwagon there and headed on over to the Huskies sideline. Touchdown, South Hills.
Yeah, Mr. Momentum is very fickle, and he's over on that South Hills sideline now.
The point after attempt is up high straight, and it is good. So this score is 26-6, thanks to the not only the 2-point safety, but the 7-point touchdown and point after attempt. That's a 9-point swing. Whew. Tough way for the Mustangs to start off the second half. The time for Bray is incomplete. Again, so kind of back to our conversation that talking about the difference between the timing rhythm of a I formation offense versus more of a spread offense, where you get that chance to sit back and, as you said, really kind of read that defense. But it's completely different rhythm. It's completely different routes. As the quarterback, it's really an entirely different process to read the defense and to really make those adjustments, and your only read adjustments for your own receivers as well.
And you add the potential of play action fake into that, and then you're not even looking downfield until you're almost completed with your drop. So I think we've seen Reed Fabre really comfortable last season in that spread, as we see him here again, and hopefully we'll see more of it, because he definitely seems to be more accurate from the spread formation.
Yeah, one of the very subtle differences there is the footwork. Footwork in a I formation where you're dropping back is very intentional. To where in that spread offense, you could be a little bit more relaxed back there. So definitely it'll be interesting to see how the Mustangs adjust and how Reed Fabre adjusts throughout the season. It certainly looked like he made some pretty good adjustments last week. So hopefully that will be a good sign for the Mustangs going forward.
Yeah, and Coach Morrow has in the past gone very different styles from preseason to Bay League action in effect to try to maybe give the Bay League coaches a lot more to think about and work on during their preparation.
Yeah, not only styles, but even personnel. We've seen him over the years take players who barely saw the ball on offense in the preseason, all of a sudden start and become major impact players in the league season. So you never quite know exactly what.
Stearns is out on the run again, and another great athletic play by Stearns to avoid the rush, and then to realize he didn't have an open receiver and just pretty much kill the ball and move on to another down.
Stearns, very savvy quarterback, no doubt about that. In shotgun, he looks right, and that is incomplete. Fourth down here first down now after the failed fourth down conversion there by South Hill. So the Mustangs defense holds. Meantime, for Bray on the play action, he's looking deep and incomplete. It looked like the Mustangs receiver was tripped up there while that ball was in the air, but no call. So 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Kellenbach definitely was bummed, but the officials again didn't see it our way.
Bray through the hands of his big tight end, number 89 for the Mustangs, incomplete. So 2nd down play is no good. 3rd and 10 coming up now. Mustangs trailing 6-26 here in the 3rd quarter.
Nice completion to Conrad from Vibre there, as Reed Vibre is starting to warm up here, passing the ball.
First down play for the Mustangs. 3 receivers set for Vibre off to Hill, who ran out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. So 2nd down coming up for the Mustangs. It's Hill with the carry again. Hit, but bounces off that hit and gets maybe another yard on the play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and short, 3rd and about 3 for the Mustangs. Timeout on the field.
Yeah, the Mustangs definitely need to convert this 3rd down again to make it into a game here. They got to score on this drive.
Man in motion. And it's a QB keeper right up the middle. South Hills does a good job to stack up that middle of that pile there, forcing a 4th down situation here now. 4th and short. 4th and about a yard here for the Mustangs. Of course, you got to assume the Mustangs are going for it at this stage, but Vibre in I formation again. It's that QB keeper. They've been riding the strength and power of Reed Vibre, and it looks like that should be enough for a Mustangs first down. So quarterback Reed Vibre, again, we mentioned last week and this week, starting to finally show that running ability. Meantime, on the pump, he has Kellenbach open, and he has him in the end zone for a touchdown, Mustangs. Reed Vibre on the pump fake, sells the defense, finds Kellenbach wide open for another touchdown.
Yeah, let's take another look at this play as he's in that I formation. He's able to drop back and pump, like you said. And it seems to be that Reed is definitely more accurate on these longer plays out of the I formation. So again, Kellenbach with another nice long completion here in the 3rd quarter. Hopefully the Mustangs can get something going and again make this a contest.
Reed Vibre formed that chemistry with Kellenbach, particularly with some of the injuries this Mustang offense has seen so far this season. Definitely nice, particularly with Cole Trejo out, who's a very steady target for Reed Vibre. Good to see him really start to find some good chemistry with Cody Kellenbach.
Yeah, the Mustangs definitely are going to have to work on their special teams, especially the point after attempt, as they have definitely been struggling this season, the last few weeks in converting extra point attempts. So hopefully they'll work on that and be ready for Bay League action starting next week as they play their 2nd game at home in their 6th game of the season.
Meantime, Torres again burst out with another big run. Very tough runner. Torres, as he gets another carry here, finally brought down after another positive gain, that time by Kellenbach, but after a 6-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 4. Stearns on the keeper. Finds an opening and gets to about the 22, maybe 23-yard line. 1st and 10, Huskies. Well, read action there by Stearns. Very dangerous when he decides to keep it, and he showed why right there.
Yeah, Chris. And again, he was really deliberate on that read action. And what was interesting about it was he's so fast that with the defense converging, he was still able to break containment and get a nice gainer out of it.
Meantime, Stearns throws shows the strength of his arm as well, completes the slant for a 6-yard gain. So on 2nd and 4, it is Torres still rumbling and bumbling, gets all the way down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal coming up for the Huskies. And faking the handoff is Stearns.
And it looks like he did make it into the end zone for the touchdown. I thought he was just short, but the officials are calling him in, and he definitely is showing his athletic ability tonight, being able to pick up key yardage here for the Huskies.
Meantime, the point after attempt, the kick is up, it's high, it's straight, and it is good. That makes the score of this contest here 33-12. Huskies with the lead. Of course, Mustangs on another road game here for the Mustangs here early in this season. This is their 4th road game out of their first 5 contests. The only home game was last week with the victory against West.
But the good news, Chris, is the Mustangs are undefeated at home.
And the Mustangs will be back at home next week as they take on the Peninsula Tigers there out of Rolling Hills Estates. That will be the Mustangs League home opener.
Yeah, the Peninsula Panthers used to be the Rolling Hills Titans back when we played, and then the school was shut down and then reopened as Palos Verdes was shut down a few years back, and Peninsula got all the talent, was a dominating force. And then once Palos Verdes reopened, as we see another nice completion there to Frankla from Verbre. As I was saying, that Peninsula team hasn't been that powerful of an opponent. And matter of fact, remember, it was last year that they almost folded their program because they didn't have enough students.
As, of course, we take a look again at that big reception right of Franklove. Franklove, very interesting member, Jeremy, of this Mustangs offense. Of course, I mentioned the coach has oftentimes in the past, I guess you can kind of say, disguised certain players, not really highlighting them often in the preseason, and then all of a sudden they become major parts of the offense in league season, I could certainly see Emerson Franklin being that type of player for the Mustangs this year.
I agree with you there, Chris. He is a talented young man, as we see Vashon Hill trying to work his way down to the goal line, but he'll be short of the end zone.
Picks up more yardage. 3 for the Mustangs.
So let's see what the Mustangs do here. A key play as Mustangs trying to get into this end zone. Offset I formation. And Vibreo tries to keep it himself, but he is hammered quickly and dropped for a loss.
4th down and about 6.
4th down coming up for the Mustangs. 4th and goal. Timeout on the field.
Well, with 17 seconds here in the third quarter, again, one thing we've seen the Mustang offense struggle is completing off, finishing off drives, getting deep in the red zone and not being able to it off, as we see the Mustangs finish this drive off with a touchdown on 4th down. Chris, what do you think of that?
Impressive back shoulder throw there. Verbrey to Cody Kellenbach. I mentioned Verbrey really starting to find some chemistry with Kellenbach. Boy, what a perfect example right there. That's one of those patterns, one of those plays that you really need a high level of quarterback to receiver trust. Because if that one is thrown to the wrong spot, it's quickly an interception going the other direction. So good to see Verbrey and Kellenbach forming that chemistry there, as the 2-point conversion attempt is no good. So that will make this score 18-33 here. Mustangs still trail in the third quarter, but showing a little signs of life here against a quality Huskies defense.
Oh, looks like the ball is loose, Chris. And I think the officials are pointing the Mustangs' way. They have definitely got Mr. Momentum on their side right now to end this third quarter.
Yeah, huge fumble recovery by McNeil, it looked like was in there on that one. Big play. Next thing you know, Mustangs with the touchdown here could be right back into this contest. With 1 quarter left to play, the Mustangs now trail 18-33 with Mr. Momentum maybe jumping back on their side.
The 9th annual Skechers Peer-to-Peer Friendship Walk is on Sunday, October 29th at the Manhattan Beach Pier. The annual event brings together all walks of life for one common purpose: to support children with special needs and public education. The charity walk includes performances, celebrities, vendor exhibits, a kids' fun zone, appearances by Nickelodeon characters, Los Angeles sports teams, and lots more. Register or donate today by logging on to SkechersFriendshipWalk.com. Pre-registration is $30 and $35 on the day of the event. Thank you for going the extra mile for children with special needs and education.
Please come to the press box and claim your $186.
So we are all set to start this 4th and final quarter. Again, the Mustangs trail here 33-18, but after a touchdown and a quick turnover thanks to that fumble recovery by McNeil, Mustangs have a chance here to jump right back into this contest. If they can score, they can make this a 1-point game. One possession game. Meantime, though, that one is thrown up, and is it intercepted? It is intercepted by the Huskies. Deep into their own territory, so now it's time for the Mustangs D to step up here, and indeed they do on 1st down. Huskies get maybe a yard. 2nd down coming up. Huskies, keep this on the ground. It's a big gain for Torres. He's tripped up, stumbles, still fights forward, gets finally thrown down at the 46. 1st and 10, South Hills.
As we see Coach Morrow there, one good thing about high school football, Chris, is that the preseason, those first 5 games of the season, do not count towards the league record and essentially the playoff picture. However, in past, again, last year and this year with the new playoff format, I'm not sure exactly how much that overall record comes into play, but in past years, it only mattered on those fringe teams that were looking to enter the playoffs as a wild card.
Of course, Jeremy, we were the benefit of a wild card. I remember being a Mustang player, waiting anxiously for that call from the coaching staff, letting us know that we had indeed qualified for the playoffs, as we see Stearns dart, dance, and sprint his way into the end zone. A very dangerous runner. We've seen it all night long. That's another touchdown for the Huskies.
Yeah, Chris, speaking of playoffs, this team here and El Segundo, I would say, are 2 of the top teams in Division 7, and the Mustangs had to face both of them, and they definitely gave the Mustangs all they could handle. So those 2 teams, I think, are probably on a collision course in the playoffs.
So the Mustangs now, at this stage, obviously just looking for some momentum of their own here, as Hill ends up getting the kick return. First down, that ball is loose. Looked like that ball hit. Looked like that, couldn't tell if that was Hill or if that was Frank Love, but it hit, the handoff hit him in the chest and bounced forward. South Hills takes over here, leading 40-18. Of course, Stearns, very talented quarterback running the football, didn't really have to demonstrate his arm much tonight. It was really his legs that did the biggest damage to the Mustangs. That combined with Torres, number 26, and that makes that South Hills offense very difficult to stop. That time it was Knowles with the carry. Play action. Mustangs got the pressure on, and down he goes. Good job by the Mustangs to step up there. Thermosguard involved in that one. So it's 4th down for the Huskies. Throws up and incomplete. Good coverage downfield. So the Mustangs will take over here, 1st and 10. LeBray going to Frank Love, but just over his extended hands. Frank Love not able to pull that one in, so it's 2nd and 10. Bray looks left, throws left, and that is complete. And it looks like we have an injured Mustang on the play here.
Yeah, again, league play starts next week at home versus Peninsula High School. And again, this new playoff structure has 5 different divisions represented by the 6 Bay League teams.
In the old days, all you had to do was make it in the top 3 in your league, and you were guaranteed. And you can still potentially make the playoffs, even as a 4th seeded team, if you had the regular season record to go with it and could get in it as a wild card. So obviously, the new format definitely changes a lot of those types of scenarios for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and honestly, talking with Coach Baker last season down the stretch, we were trying to figure out if the Mustangs would qualify, when they would qualify for playoffs, and honestly, I mean, it was really up in the air. It's almost a mathematical equation down the stretch with all the different leagues represented. So you might have a situation last year where the Mustangs were co-league champions and were really unsure if they were going to make the playoffs. But of course they did, and hopefully this year the Mustangs will get things together here at the end of non-league play and go in strong next week in the start of Bay League action.
Of course, that 4th down play, Bray just barely overshot Jackson Fisher. So turnover on downs here. And someone was a little anxious to get that play off.
And again, going back to the Bay League structure, next week we start off versus Division 10 Peninsula. Then we have Division 9 Morningside, followed by Division 10 Inglewood, prior to Division 3 Palos Verdes and Division 4 Redondo. As we see a turnover here by the Mustangs, this defense isn't going to give up. No Rayleigh defense ever gives up, Chris.
You got that right, Jeremy. So with 2:46 left to play in this contest, the Mustangs get that big turnover and will take over here. 1st and 10. And that is complete. Mustangs now on 2nd down and short. 4 receivers. Looks like Carpino was in at quarterback. To vibe with the carry. Stop for a little bit of a loss on the play. Maybe lost a half yard, so it's 4th down now for the Mustangs. Mustangs need to get to the 46, and they will not do it. Carpino is thrown down, hit behind the line of scrimmage, so South Hills Huskies take over 1st and 10. Flag on the play. And it's motion against the Huskies. For South Hills leads this contest 40-18. We are just about over here in the 4th quarter. Knowles with the carry. The Mustangs do a good job of throwing them back. 2nd down coming up. 4-receiver set here for the Huskies despite the score. There's the snap, and Mustangs right there. Good job by that Mustangs D to come up with another big tackle. It may have been Thomason involved in that tackle. So 3rd down coming up. Shotgun. It's a sweep left. Mustang's able to step up there, get a good hit on the play. Kellenbach involved in that one. Still working hard out there. Flag, though, on the play. Oh, boy, the referees are calling this one tight all the way through to the end. This one against the Mustangs. So with 17 seconds left, this is likely to be the last play of the game here.
Again, I'd like to remind the fans, too, that they can donate to the Jason Sadowski Scholarship at mbxfoundation.org.
And that is the final play of the game. Mustangs lose this one 40-18 to the South Hills Huskies. And with a 1-4 record. And at this stage, they've dropped all 4 road games. So the Mustangs will definitely be more than happy to go back to Waller Stadium next week as they open their Bay League season against Peninsula. Fans, thank you for tuning in. It'll be interesting to see how Reed Bray, if he gets to be a little bit more active running the ball next week as the Bay League opens. Let's see what Coach Morrow has in store for us. Thanks for tuning in, fans. Meantime, we'll see you next week.
7 by me, 7 by 3, 1, 2, 3, 7 up.
Just that I never got to meet him. It's kind of sad. So when I wear this patch, I feel like he's with us on the field and looks over me. He gives me the extra yards, the extra blessings. So it's a blessing to wear his patch and honor. Go Chad.